Right now, we'll do the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Councilman Ayers.
Thank you. If you please stand. Take a few moments here. We ask you, Heavenly Father, to continue to extend your blessings on us. Help us to make good and wise decisions. Help us to be good stewards that we're brought here to do. And we ask you to continue to bless all those who protect us here in this country and overseas. And we ask your special protection, all the the sheriff and all the first responders here in Hamilton County. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, reading approval of minutes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Are there any public comments today? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to committee and officers' reports. I have nothing. Mr. Vice President?
I have nothing.
All right. Highway Committee, Rick?
We met this morning, and I think the items will be on the agenda tonight.
Finance Committee?
We did have a meeting, and I think did everybody get an updated financial plan, Robin? Has that been issued, or is that just Finance Committee?
No. We were instructed to send that out, so.
There is a new updated financial plan available if anybody wants one.
Okay.
I thought Mike did email it. He didn't? The whole thing?
It just went to finance.
Anybody wants one?
Okay.
It's available.
Personnel?
We did meet, and it will be discussed in the meeting.
Does anybody want to include anything under miscellaneous?
I have one thing. Our appointment to the Hamilton County ABC does not attend the meetings from December to April. So I think we would like to look at, I think you would check, that's my understanding from one of the people that applies. And therefore, if one other member doesn't show up, they can't do the violations, transfers, nothing like that. So we need to, I think, look into this situation.
Okay, do you have somebody?
No, I don't have anybody because I haven't really, if you instruct me to, I'll find somebody.
Sure. Yeah.
And then, okay.
All right.
Well, that has to be a Democratic, an appointment.
Okay. Thank you.
Any unfinished business? I'm seeing none. Tabled business? Okay, none there. New business, approval of vendor claims. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Now we have a memorandum of understanding between the Hamilton County Council and the Hamilton County Administrative Courts. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Discussion.
Anybody want discussion?
What does this pertain to?
It's the MOU that Rick had put together. Rick, you want to explain it?
This has to do with the grant funding that we did for that position that we talked about earlier, and saying that, it's going to give us feedback, making sure that the position has limitedness.
Say
for
that
the
it's
grant.
tied to the grant funding?
Yes. Well, that and the funding the position, promote efficiency within the pretrial release program, and that we are going to get data not less than twice a year, showing the productivity and costs.
You need a second, Mr. President?
Already got a second.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, information, review of proposed language for ballot question regarding Carmel Clay Schools operating referendum that is happening in May. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
For information only.
Information only, okay.
Okay.
I made the second.
All those in, we don't need to do it. All right, we'll skip D then on that, right, Robin? It's the same thing.
Same thing.
And what's E? It's in red, Indy Exec Airport, 2016 flyover.
There's an amended agenda.
Okay.
If I may, good evening. I'm Brad Koza.
Brad, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Just to clarify, because we're on TV, the first item was for the Carmel ballot.
Yeah.
The second is for the Sheridan School ballot. Just
We don't vote on them, it's for information.
Just
only.
information only, it's going on the ballot for May.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Brad.
Problem at all. Good evening again. I'm Brad Koza. As I come to close on my 8th month as Airport Director out at Indianapolis Executive Airport, thank you for the opportunity to share some updates with you on what has been a busy and transformative 2016 out at the airport. Before I do, just wanted to re-extend my thanks, though, to so many within Hamilton County for the welcome as well as the support that I have received both personally and professionally out at the airport, from Brad to the auditor's office, to buildings and grounds, to the highway department, the commissioners. So many have assisted us in being able to be where we are today. So thank you again for that. As we reflect then on 2016, you have a handout there in front of you, and I'll just touch upon some key items in there. The first thing we looked at is the airport in numbers, if you will. So each year, Indy Exec is home to roughly 35,500 takeoffs and landings, making us the 10th busiest airport in the state of Indiana. But some new data that we just received in 2016 is very encouraging to us because we see it on a daily basis and we believe it is reflective of the growth in our community. And that's the second number you see there, the business flights per day. On average, we see roughly 17.2 business flights per day, which makes us the second busiest by that ranking in Indianapolis, and something we're very encouraged by. I think, as you certainly know, serving a community that is growing as rapidly as it is, the old mantra of build it and they will come perhaps doesn't apply so well, and I think that's the same for us out at the airport. Rather, they've come, and together we're all trying to build and maintain and keep up with that growth. So what is that infrastructure that allows that growth and those daily operations to occur? You see there under the airport of today, there are several items. Again, I'll just touch on a few. The terminal and hangar are certainly where the community and those traveling into the airport interact. And we do that through our partnership with Montgomery Aviation and Taft Aviation, serving both customers and aircraft as they come in and out of the airport. In addition, thank you to those of you who joined us back in September for the inauguration of Bex Hybrid's new hangar facility out at the airport. That for us is a great step forward in growing that segment of our airport. And you can see there's an executive taxiway already installed and primed for continued development in that sector. All of this, however, does not occur without our main runway. The lone runway we have is the north-south runway you see there. It is concrete, and it's thanks to its reconstruction in 2009 in concrete, was entirely funded through a federal grant. So we're very appreciative of that and certainly aspiring to preserve and protect that. As we look to the Gateway of Tomorrow, however, there are continued opportunities to partner with the federal government as well as the state of Indiana on grant funding for these projects, many of which are eligible up to 90% through the FAA. The remainder being funded locally and together with the state of Indiana. So you can see there, just like any business, we have a capital improvement plan that looks between 5 and 20 years out. Within that 5-year time frame, those are the 3 items that we are looking towards: a wildlife perimeter fence, runway and taxiway extension, and infrastructure improvements. So that's the airport in numbers, if you will. If you'll be so kind as to turn it over, there's the better story. That is those that we serve on a daily basis and aspire to do so in pictures for you. Just like rail that you talked about earlier, and certainly the interstates traversing Hamilton County, aviation and the airport can serve as a gateway to our community. And it's something we aspire to do. So in that sense, you can see that our market as a general aviation airport is very diverse. So one of our chief missions is to serve as a welcoming gateway to those who are visiting our community, as well as those who are learning to fly through Montgomery Aviation's flight school. In addition, we talked about the explosive growth in our business community, and we are proud to support and continue to support them as an economic gateway to our community, but also to allow them to grow regionally and nationally if their business takes them there. In addition, we are honored to be able to serve as a transportation gateway to our armed forces and those who serve and protect us. At least once a month, we tend to see the Air National Guard bring helicopters into and out of the airport. And the last thing, something not to be overlooked, is the community in which we reside and that we aspire to serve. And an opportunity to bring the community out to the airport occurs each summer. That's our chief event through Montgomery Aviation's annual fly-in benefiting Down Syndrome Indiana. We have a date already set for that, so would go ahead and extend that personal invitation to you if you'd be so kind as to mark your calendars and consider joining us on August 5th. It is a Saturday. Last year it drew several thousand, and it has for a number of years, I understand. This will be the 11th annual, and we'd welcome your attendance of that. The last item then, as well as in August on the 17th, is a joint Zionsville and Westfield Chamber of Commerce luncheon at the airport, and would certainly welcome your attendance of that. The very last thing is you have my contact information at the bottom. I think when I last spoke to you, I didn't have any of that. So happy to share that with you. Please always feel welcome to reach out. And thank you again for the welcome, the hospitality, and the time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Brad.
All right, now we'll open the public hearing concerning additional appropriations. Looks like we have a 144 amendment, additional the auditor, reclassification of a position. Is there a motion?
Move to combine A and B.
Okay. Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioners, approval of a job commission 144 transfer, 144 amendment, a transfer. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Judicial services, transfer of funds. Okay,
So we don't have to go through the 144, or, I mean, we just
It was.
took all of it, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Judicial services, transfer of funds. Let's see here, April Epperson, says veteran service officer. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, on this right here, it says veterans, is that what this is for? Does anybody know? It says veteran services officer?
Are we on judicial services?
No, we should,
Judicial.
that should be under commissioners,
And we're
right?
on
That's it.
judicial
Okay,
services.
that's good, sorry, okay,
It's just a transfer.
okay.
The
All
Odyssey
right,
scheme.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, sheriff, reduction of $1,129,191 retirement, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, sheriff, additional $450,000 machinery and equipment, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion?
I looked at the email, I think we got a list here. I'm not sure this helps me at all. I'm not sure what we're spending the $450,000 for. There wasn't enough documentation during budget hearing, and I'm not sure that this is the kind of documentation I'm looking for $450,000.
It would be better if we had some type of line item, at least approximate line items to look at, and what equals $450,000.
Everything that we do, half of that, I think, as I stated in the email, includes the lease payments for the radios that we use for emergency response, mattresses, bedding, all of the equipment from PBTs to computers to just about everything that we use. If we have a kitchen item go down, whether it's a steamer or a dishwasher or something like that, all of those items would come out of this particular fund. It's our operating fund for our entire operation for the year.
As far as previous to 2015, I'm sorry, 2016, where was this actually coming from? What line?
4,500.
Okay, so then maybe I have information that's in 2015, was the line item budgeted at 125,000? And then it went up in 2016 to 1.1, roughly 1.1 million, I believe. So the expenses then from the year 2015 budgeted of 125,000 in the line item. Obviously, last year there was a little bit of a special circumstance. To now, I guess I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, we had, I think in 15, budget was 125, I think actuals was nearly 140 or 50 or something of that nature. We had special projects last year that we asked for you to help us fund, which you did, and we're grateful for that. This year, again, half that expense will be for lease payments for the radio system, and the others will be for operating expenses for the agency.
Half of the $450,000 is lease payments for the radios,
185,000.
186,000 roughly.
we didn't pay for in 2015?
It's like 7 years. Their lease payments.
Didn't pay the $180,000 in 2015?
We switched to the new radio system in 2016, early 2016.
It started.
Started in March of 15. Correct. The first year was in the commissioner's budget. It's separated out into the sheriff's budget in 16.
A portion of that lease payment for, a portion of that 1.1 or whatever included the lease payments for 16. And obviously that 186,000 should be included in this specific line item. I just am trying to understand that additional.
Is this what you're asking, that it be broke down further so we can understand that
Yes.
the radios are separated and?
Yeah.
Only because I don't recall, I mean, again, and maybe from the standpoint of these items, are these things that you are purchasing every year?
Some of them are purchased every year, some of them are replacements for things that go bad or when we need those funds for, again, replacing mattresses for the inmates, computers, breathalyzers, those types of things that we need to replace or repair on a regular basis. We're adding a new facility, we're bringing online the juvenile detention facility, and that requires some additional equipment, scanners and printers and those types of things to make it operational. That's also part of this ask.
I think what the council has, at least from what I've gathered, is, if the inmate bedding and things of that nature, I obviously understand, but when we're adding on, obviously to operate on the side of utilizing the juvenile detention center and then the transition into for the female pop, I guess, I think that I would like to see at least, we know we need X amount of additional cameras or whatever it is that for those specific projects. I guess that's where I'm having a hard time looking at it and saying, okay, well, here's another 280,000. I don't necessarily know what's going where and what the shelf life is of those items, I guess, that we're paying for. So that's the only thing.
And then some of it was in there too, it said upgrade of kitchen and laundry. I mean, I would think that would be separated from some of this stuff as well. I mean, I don't, there's a lot included in one.
Again, I think 185,000 of that is for the lease payment for the radios, so you back that out. The additional is for operating for the year for those items. Some of them, as I said, are big-ticket items. When they go down, we need to replace them immediately. We can't wait 4 to 6 weeks to request funding. If a laundry washer machine goes down or something like that, we need to make sure that we're able to replace those items, and that's traditionally what that line item has been in place for.
I respect what you're doing. I totally understand what you're saying. I'm just not comfortable supporting it myself individually with this information right here.
I just want to understand why it wasn't appropriated. I mean, why that wasn't included in the budget.
I have no idea. It was, that's a line item that's generally funded, and
But at the 100, previously, prior to 2015, at 125, what was it funded to? Like, what was it funded at? Do we know historically? Like, so 2014, was it funded at 125,000? Okay.
You're asking the auditor to reach back pretty far.
No, I'm just trying to understand, when we had that one jump, which was understood based on the projects and the things that we were doing. I'm just saying, why wouldn't the expectation be that it would go back to that same amount since we were doing all these big projects that required those extra? I guess that's where I'm struggling. Is why this fund, if historically we had not utilized it for such things? If it was 140,000 in 2015, then what was it in 2014? Those are the elements that I'm just...
Part of the issue too is in 16, there was no information in your budget documents for 4,500. There was nothing that supported any capital expense in your 2016 request as part of the issue too. Is that a true statement?
Right, and that's where I guess, there was justification previously.
Right.
This time I just didn't
You
have it.
understand what we're saying?
Well, let me ask just real fast. When you said 2016, were you meaning August, September 16, or for budget year 16?
For budget year 17, right.
That's why we're here today, Mark, questioning it.
You can't ask for $450,000 and not support.
But what I was getting ready to say is, in 2016, the budget year 2016, we approved $1 million. So we had $1 million there in 2016. And throughout the year, we gave another $300,000. So out of this account, $1.3 million was spent.
That's what I was looking for, is what the total spend was out of this line outside of what was actually
2016.
appropriated.
Yeah, an extra $300,000.
So that would
I mean, the
equate to about
$450,000 is a third of what we did last year. But I mean, it is a huge
But
amount.
double what we did the year before.
Well, then that's why I asked. He pulled the data that basically says, we likely in 2015, we appropriated 125,000, but then the spend was much more than that on an additional side. So I think, again, if those figures come up to that 450, I'm okay with it. Last year was a little bit different because we had different costs that we wouldn't have had in 15, and we didn't necessarily plan to have to that level in 17. So,
Yeah, in 15, we only budgeted 125,000. We had extras, I'm trying to get to the bottom of the page. Additionals, 205,000, so we gave an extra 80,000 in 2015.
Okay, so where, do you got a motion and a second right now?
We do.
I will vote for this with the thing to the sheriff in the 18 budget, need to put the radios that you're leasing in a separate line, or so we see what the dollar number is for radios.
Brad, so that's something that Dawn pointed out that she wanted me to share with you. The last 2 years, 3 years, with the State Board of Accounts and what they've done to us, and we've talked to you several times, the things that you can pay for out of certain line items have changed, and so, you know, you have some things coming out of supplies that used to come out of operating supplies, and that now have to come out of capital. And so part of that has been, you know, a learning curve for everybody. You know, it taxes our AP gals because they're always, you know, taking a hit. But there again, it's something that, you know, you had the state change, the State Board of Accounts, and so then we have to retrain everybody about, no, this has to come out of this line item. And so, you know, that's another issue that you know, we deal with trying to help departments. So, you know, there again, that's a little bit of,
You did give a heads up to the department. You did let the departments know that from what we discussed earlier, right? This was, they were made aware of what you're.
oh, yeah, and it, like I said, it's been an ongoing work in progress for 3 years.
So are you saying in 18 you can't have a line that says radio?
No, you cannot.
You can't?
No.
It's all lumped
Without
into
equipment,
one line
machinery,
item.
equipment.
Which again, that's everything that we do from an operational standpoint comes out of a line item. So for us to break it down individually is quite complicated.
I'm looking for something that says, it's not that, you know, we sit on highway, it's 146 costs this costs that, these are estimates, we're not even asking for bids. Betty might cost this, or if you include everything that's there, Betty, you know what I mean? And then you pair up desktop computers, laptop computers, you know, you just give an estimated different breakdown instead of coming with a note, look, and I'm not trying to make it complicated for you, but just coming for a note that just says, I need $450,000. I don't know,
well, take 186 out of that,
okay,
because we know that that's leasing.
either way, you know what I mean, if it was one thing in there, I'd be a little more comfortable with it, but there's a lot, you're just bunching up everything and just asking for a check from the council of $450,000 in taxpayer funds. I mean, this could be just broken down in different sheets and different numbers, that, you know, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Go ahead.
I have a question, Sheriff. So just so I'm extremely clear on this, right now, there's no money in that 4,500.
There is no money in the line item, and there are bills that are due.
There are bills that are due, and so if the washing machine breaks,
I can't replace it.
okay.
I don't know.
And so you've been 3 months here with,
I'm having a hard time that there's no way to break down these costs.
It has to be done by departments.
So they can do it.
It's an operational
There used to be a
budget.
day, Brad, when you had a line item for everything under the sun. And they took that away from us. And so now we have sheets that have line items, and it tells departments what can be paid from those line items. But machinery and equipment, so, I mean, you have cars, you have computers, you have laptops, you have chairs, you know, shovels.
So in essence, the sheriff's department's going to have to break this down internally for the 2018 budget.
Well, I would assume that you would have, I mean, if there's bills due outside of those lease, I mean, are there ones that can be quantified in front of us so we can go, oh, yeah, okay, there's 18,000 that is for, does that make sense? Or is this an
It does, but when, you know, there are certain things that we know we're going to replace, then there are oftentimes things that we don't know if something goes bad and we have to replace it, or things of that nature. Again, again, we use this as an operational budget to get us through the year.
So then just tell me this, how did you come up with that number?
Based on the fact that we have $185,000 that's in lease payments, that we had $140,000 used in prior years for operational expenses, cost of items are increasing. I mean, you factor all those things in and you come up with an operational budget to get us through the year. Obviously, if we don't spend it, it reverts back to county general. And that way we don't have to come every month and ask specifically for a certain amount of money to get us by to operate on.
So what you're asking in simple man terms, you need low cash flow.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Mark, can I, and again, from last year, and maybe you may not remember this off the top of your head, but I mean, one expenditure was $394,000 from Granger. Remember what that might have been, that huge ticket item?
Insurance?
For what? I didn't.
Granger, G-R-A-I-N-G-E-R.
Yeah, that's a supply, that would have been a third horsepower blower motor.
I can't say, I'm not sure.
Granger sells parts and supplies.
I mean, there's like $50,000 from BGI, so I'm guessing that treadmills or weight equipment were bought or something. Again, I'm looking at the 450 is a third of what he had last year. And this one just jumps out at $400,000 all by itself.
Well, again, $185,000 is for the lease payment, so if we factor that in, and then we factor in $125,000, which was a prior year and a typical operating, let's say, year expenditure, you're at $310,000 right there. We're bringing on a new facility with the juvenile detention center. We've got to have fingerprint machines and cameras and things of that nature for that building, so those are things that we need.
What did we approve?
Go ahead.
What did we approve regarding that, that transition a couple months ago?
Yeah, if we're doing a new facility, all this is gonna be part of that budget. If we put the new facility, we're sinking millions and millions of dollars into that facility, all that's gonna be included in there.
Now,
I'm saying.
we've been working the expenses through Steve Wood to
Right.
retrofit. Now,
Most of that is capital, not
Okay,
operational.
that's my
lease
question, so that's separate.
equipment, not building equipment.
Okay.
So, we've got a motion, I would approve it. I would just say, Sheriff, in the 18, since it has to come out of line item, you might hit the three top items, like the radio payments and anything over $100,000, is like a footnote for the 18 budget, you know what I mean? So when we look at it, we see, look, 180's for radio lease, this, that, or the other thing.
Let's drop it down. I mean, I'd rather go 50,000 and up.
Yeah, okay, I'm just saying,
That's
an
fine.
auditor can't do it, so it's gonna fall back to the, and as you said, you can't know everything that you're gonna spend, but you know a lot of the big ticket items, you know what I mean, what you got planned for the next year.
Yeah, I'll do a roll call, Brad, your vote?
Yeah.
Paul? Yes. Steve?
Yes.
I'm a no.
Yes.
Yes.
Amy? Okay.
Yes.
Moving on. Motion carries.
Thank you.
144 amendments from the sheriff, two of them. Motion to combine those.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. And then there's a transfer of 2,700 to 2,272.
Is this, Amy, is this the one? Okay.
Is there a motion? For the 2,272. The transfer.
So moved.
Okay, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Hamilton County Airport Authority, AIP 27, requested $4,815, amount for additional appropriation, $4,815. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Hey, Brad's here every month. You guys ever want to know which fund this goes in, you can always call him up and he'll clue you into which FAA grant this is going to. Okay?
Motor Vehicle Highway Fund, requested $200,000, amount available for additional appropriation, $4,843,000. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
All right, what is, I'll second that, but what is transfer required for, okay.
This is a combination of
Yeah.
things we talked about.
Yeah. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. On rainy day fund requesting $65,000.
Second.
All those in favor?
What is this, Rick?
This is Riverwalk, has to do with the environmental mitigation, and this is preparing the specs for the quote, the plannings should
I
take
thought they were
place-
under
Yep.
construction.
They are.
Plannings will take place this fall. This is just one segment of it.
I thought the Riverwalk was under construction.
It is.
So why do we need to plan? Shouldn't you plan before you're under construction? Or is it
Plantings.
plantings? Oh, I thought you said,
The quote for
I
the
thought you said,
plantings.
oh,
No,
you mean we're not gonna let it go back to nature? We're gonna,
Right. It's environmental mitigation. Similar to what we just did at 96 in town is going to take place up at Cox Hall.
oh, okay.
So they might do the plantings
Yeah.
at a different location.
Yeah, okay. So that the gray bat can live someplace else.
Exactly.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Sheriff Pension Fund appropriating cash to pay 2017 contribution to plan. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Guardian ad litem requesting $750. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Got auditor ineligible homestead requesting $37,080. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Park and Recreation Fund 144 amendment. Is there a motion?
So moved. And before we vote, or I'd like just to make a suggestion. I would like to change the dollar amount to $38,140 and make it retro to February 11th.
Seconded. Did you make a motion?
I'm asking for it to change this, so yeah, you made it. Second, I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye. And then, that was just for the change, but if you want to table it.
He's made a change and this request, I want to table it till next month so Al can be here personally.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Now we have Mr. Snowden, fund requesting $726,998. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second, did you get all your questions answered?
I did get my questions answered. I understand it's been vetted. From what you're saying, it's been vetted a few times before it got to us. Is that correct? What you were telling me, Brad?
Yep. Mr. Snow, wouldn't you agree with that? That goes through a couple layers of bureaucracy before it gets to us. Yeah, 4, okay.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye. I think Robin had you have a question on my amendment.
What did you guys just do on the parks?
We increased the dollar amount to $38,140, so that can be advertised when it comes back before us in April, and retro to February 11th.
Lease rental requesting $2.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I almost want to vote against that. Highway Code Fund requesting $990,200. Amount available for additional appropriation, $3,567,555. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
And what this is our contribution to interlocal with Fishers, helping them widen 96th Street between Lantern Road and Cumberland. There's a segment that's still in the county, and also helping some bridge work.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we got the Youth Assistance Program Fund requesting $33,656. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. This one right here, just to be clarified, I know Trish is here. Hi, how are you? This is something that Noblesville's paying for. Correct. Nothing's coming out of county.
Yeah, no, we grilled her sufficiently at the Personnel Committee that they had some internal movings of people back and forth. There was no new money, and we reemphasized the fact that the county's got a set amount of full-time employees that we're going to pay for, and a set amount of health insurance benefits we're going to pay for. This does not exceed any of those.
Ready? All those in favor?
Aye.
Would you say that's correct?
That is correct, sir.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
County Council, Janus Operating Grant Reduction.
So, second.
All those in favor?
Aye. I like reductions.
Reductions are good. Federal Highway Reimbursement Fund requesting $54,928. I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Court Reform Grant. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And we will close the public hearing. Any announcements from the sheriff?
Just wanted to let you know that we are planning to open the refurbished juvenile detention center Friday, moving the kids over. And then we'll work on getting the other juvenile detention center converted over for the female housing over the next several weeks. So appreciate your help with that.
So you think by,
At the end of March, we should have everything
okay,
set.
good.
Council Attorney?
Nothing.
Madam Auditor?
Don't adjourn yet, please.
Go ahead.
I want to run back to something.
I'm sorry, Mr. President, before you close our meeting, instruct the students on how to get there.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No. The question I had is on the approval of job description, number 2, under Commissioners for the Administrative Assistant for Veteran Services. In approving this, did we approve a new position, a full-time position?
No, it's not full-time. They did a job description.
It says full-time.
I know it does, and I went through that same quiz at personnel, but it's just so they had a job description, the person that we hired will be part-time.
I just want to clarify. Thank you.
Yes, no, it does say that.
All right, and if the students that are in the crowd, you come up here and get signed as soon as we adjourn here. So, being nothing else is needed is adjourned. Thank you.